So because everyone is stuck in quarantine, I'm going to do something very special for this channel in particular. This channel took off immensely when the UP 4014 came to town, and I went and visited it. So today, we're gonna tell the actual goddamn story of the Big Boy. Now, this book was given to me by a very good friend of mine, and I have actually yet to fully read it, and it is a tiny book. I've looked at all of the pictures of the 4000s in this, including custom-made 4000s that didn't actually exist. So today we're going to read The Big Legacy of the Union Pacific Big Boy. And it literally says, as its caption, why rail fans still love the world's largest steam locomotive. Because it is the world's largest steam locomotive. And on the front, there's two pictures. There's a picture of the one that's in Omaha, and there's a picture of one running on the main line. That is UP. Actually, it's the same one. It's the same Big Boy. So this is a picture of what it used to look like, and this is what it looks like today. It's obviously not on a truck. And on the back, there is a model, obviously a model, of UP 4008. It is written by James J. something and Michael A. whatever. I can't pronounce their names, but there's their names for you. Alright. Oh. Columbia. Whatever that is, blah, blah, blah. So, the literal first picture we see is UP 4019 heading to the deadlines in 1961. So that's when the era was over. Alright. Now there's a big giant page of acknowledgement here. This book will pick up the UP Big Boy story at the point where most other works on the subject have ended. As described in the bibliography, there are many books, videos, internet sites, and other forms of media that have effectively told the history and technique and detail of the world's largest steam locomotive. Yet most of these endeavors end their accounts with 1959, the year the Big Boys last saw revenue service. Subsequent to then, many devoted railroad enthusiasts can readily recount when several or all 8 of the surviving giants now slumber in posterity. But why, almost 50 years after their retirement, does the concept of the Big Boy and the accompanying title of the world's largest still enthrall old and young alike? To some, it may have to do with the fascination for the extremes once embraced in order to use steam as a power source. For others, it may simply be human to appeal for what is the biggest of anything, be it a dinosaur, mammal, or creation of humankind. Something, I can't read that word, it's like psychosis or something. Aside, the goal of the following is to show the legacy of the Big Boy and actually continue in the decades since the 8 survivors took their last steamy breaths. One in this book has been renewed, and that is 4014. This has been attempted with the generous assistance of many who have admired and known Big Boys, either as machine in motion or only as a stuffed and mounted museum piece. A large thanks to, and then it goes to talk about the acknowledgement of the people who assisted in providing pictures for this, which you can see is quite a few people. And the picture caption is Extra 4023, which is in Omaha, east of Wyoming, of Harrisoma, Wyoming, with 95 cars while moving at 15 miles per hour on July 15th, 1950. So that is 7 years before they quit operation on the main line. Introduction. I thought that was the introduction. The intentions of this work are not to renew the debate among railroad enthusiasts and historians over which steam locomotive once operated by American railroad companies can officially claim the imposing title of world's largest steam locomotive. It is generally acknowledged that while the Union Pacific Big Boy was not the most powerful steam locomotive ever built, that is falsehood. It was heaviest when fully loaded with fuel and water. True. And that when the length of the locomotive alone is factored into its few feet longer than the closest contender, what Big Boy generally recognized for was its superiority when it came to combination of speed, power, and agility. Once this type of locomotive was tagged as Big Boy, both the truth and the legend about it were preserved. Typically, for the precision is the comment made by a party reviewing an electric model of a UP 4000 long after the prototype was retired, who noted that Big Boy was, quote, respectively of the largest and baddest in American railroading. A brief review in order to benefit for the uninformed. UP's 25-4884, that's a wheel arrangement, steam locomotives, 2 pairs of guide wheels in front, 4 pairs of drive wheels. And 2 pairs of drive wheels, and then 4 wheels in the back, were built between 1941 and 1944, so they built for only 3 years, by the American Locomotive Company, also known as ALCO. You may have heard of them. Of Schenectady, New York. As the only 4884 steam locomotives ever built, the type was informally christened Big Boy by the media after an ALCO employee chalked the words on the front of the first engine completed, number 4000, which is true, and they did that with 4014. Working in cooperation with ALCO, the Big Boys were designed by Union Pacific Mechanical Department to primarily haul long, heavy trains across the Green River, across Wasatch Mountain Range in Ogden, Utah, and Green River, Wyoming. 20 of the engines, number 4000 to 4019, arrived at the time to move massive amounts of tonnage during World War II. 5 additional Big Boys, 4020 and 4024, were built in 1944 as a part of the railroad's wartime power needs, because in World War II they couldn't build new locomotives, so Union Pacific went with what was best. Other railroad enthusiasts and media referred to the engine as Big Boys. Railroaders generally thought of them as 4000s. Either way, their stats were impressive, nearly 133 feet in length, from pilot to rear of the tender, which is massive. And here's a picture of one of the advertisements for them. The weight was about 600 tons. It was later confirmed that it is exactly 600 tons. Tender water capacity was 25,000 gallons, while fuel was 18 tons of coal. Under full steam, it consumed 1,000 pounds of water and 22,000 pounds of coal per hour. That's why they converted it to oil. Big Boys, like other large articulated steam locomotives, were widely known for being hinged near the center of their frames below the boilers. There was a massive pin connecting the 2 sets of 8 drive wheels, each set equipped with its own pair of steam cylinders, which permitted the long boilered engine to take curves it otherwise could not possibly negotiate. So, taking a moment to pause here, because I just realized how long this is going to be, what that essentially means is if the engine was, if the engine was to hit a curve, the front half could pivot while the back half would stay connected, so it would pivot like this, for people who are uninformed of Big Boys. We're going to take a quick break, and we are going to continue this in the next episode. I know, it's a 10-minute reading power hour, and I know I've only done one page, but seriously, this is a lot of information to take in one sitting.